Hey y'all, it is Queen Bianca Dufresne here with Your Life Nutrition. I got the tea that you ain't know you need, okay? Today I am here, don't mind me, I'm looking at my notes. Today I am here to give a brief summary of my week's Instagram post, which you can go check out at Queen Bianca Dufresne on Instagram. The series was called Live Your Best Life. It was a 3-part series. Now, the 3 ways to live your best life that I suggested that are the most easy to start implementing, and they literally trickle into every other part of your life, would be to start eating plants and less meat or no meat, get back into nature, and reading. The top 3 tips to live your best life and to start living. The top 3 tips to live your best life in all areas of your life are to start eating more plants and less meat, get back into and connected with nature, and read. But not just anything. Okay? Let's start with the first tip, and then I got like 2 extras at the end that I'm gonna throw in that y'all aren't even gonna be ready for, I promise. So, eat plants. Why? Well, for one, our digestive system is made to eat more plants. It's not made to digest as much meat as we eat over here in the SAD diet area, the standard American diet. To eat as much protein as we eat, our digestive system would need to be longer because protein takes longer to digest. Plants provide the vitamins, the minerals, and these other things, which are basically just other parts that make up the plants that have medicinal benefits for us, are phytonutrients. All of these, they are meant to work in tandem, which means work together for our body's physical and mental spiritual benefit. You know, medicine originally was plants, but they took the medicinal part out and they turned it into a drug when they stripped it of all its plant benefits. But plants were the original medicine. A lot of our spiritual books say something along the lines of, God gave you the plants and, stuff of the earth, the fruit of the earth to eat and for it to be your medicine. I don't have the exact scripture. I'm not going to go look it up, but you can look it up because I've read it. But I'm not going to waste mental space trying to remember that. Yeah, you can Google that. So plants provide all these great benefits for us. But meat, yeah, it has protein. Okay, yeah, I think you can get iron and maybe a few other things. But along with the little bit of good that you can get from meat, you get a whole lot of bad. Because not only do basically all of the meat sources increase your cholesterol, especially the meats that love to be eaten over here, the red meats, which are cancer causing. It's literally on the American Cancer Society's website. Chicken, sandwich meats, processed meats, hot dogs. Yeah, all of that good stuff. So not only is it things like cholesterol, but then it's the stuff that we don't even think about. Because they give these animals medicine. They are pumping these animals up. These animals are growing way too fast because they need them big, fast, so they can sell them. Hurry up and flip that profit, It's a business. So the flesh that we are consuming today is chock full of chemicals. Natural chemicals from that animal's body called hormones, that are coming, and they're not good hormones. They're not feel-good hormones. They're negative hormones because these animals are stressed out and they're being killed. How would you feel being killed? You gonna feel happy? No, you're not. You're gonna be scared. You're gonna be mad. You're gonna have all these negative emotions flowing through you, and those produce chemicals in our bodies. And the same thing in animals. It produces chemicals in their bodies. But then you turn around and we eat that. Those chemicals are in us. You are what you eat. That's a real statement. You might not turn into a donut, but you become what that donut is made out of. And what that donut is made out of affects you. So, eat more plants. Don't eat the meat. There's chemicals from the medicines that they give these animals because they get sick because of their living conditions. What I'm not going to do is dive deep into the chemical molecular breakdown of science and scientific stuff about how all this works. This is literally stuff you can go Google. And I mean, at this point, most of us know this. We're just choosing not to do it. So that's what that is. You can go Google it. It's better to read for yourself. Anyway, you learn better that way. I'm just giving you topics to go read on. So, number 2, get in nature. Why do you need to get in nature? Because you are nature. You're a part of nature. You know, science has gone we have all learned in science class that everything in existence has energy. You know, when we learned about the protons, neutrons, and electrons, we learned that sometimes those particles are moving really, really fast. That's like fog and steam. But sometimes they're moving really, really slow. That's like ice or a rock. You know, the more solid it is, the slower the particles are moving. We're made of those same particles. Just like the trees, just like the plants, just like the grass. So you see, we are a part of nature. We are nature. Everything is connected. But I'll get into that a little bit later. So when you go into nature, because everything is given off a frequency, the frequency comes from the vibration of those particles. You can go look into that frequency, vibration, waves, all of that. And the frequency that's coming from nature is a higher frequency. It's a feel-good frequency. When you get into nature, that combines with your energy and it helps lift you up, literally. It's something you can go read on. I'm not going to break it down scientifically, but you're part of nature. So why do you think you need to be disconnected from nature? Just think about that. Unity is always better than separatism. So now the last thing I'm going to get into is reading. This is probably the most important part. Reading trains your mind on what to think. What you think determines what you do. What you do determines the life that you live and the environments and surroundings that you put yourself in and the people that you surround yourself with. That's just that on that. This is the control center. This is like the gas pump, you know, like it controls the flow of the liquid that makes the body move, aka our blood. But this is the control center. So when you read good things like self-help books, personal growth and development books, spirituality books, spirituality, not religion. There's a difference. Spirituality books, books that remind you about, you know, you don't have to doubt yourself. Don't doubt yourself. Don't just automatically trust that what someone else tells you is true or better than what you know. Don't think everything outside of yourself is better than you. Get to know you. You know, the you is on the inside of you. Reading trains your mind on what you want it to be thinking. So if you're reading sexual fiction all the time, that's what you're going to be thinking about. All the time. You always horny. But if you're reading personal growth and development books or books about developing the business that you're endeavoring on building, or books about losing weight that you're trying to do, or books about eating healthy like you want to do, books about the positive things that you want to do, then that's what your mind is going to be thinking about. Okay? So reading literally determines everything, which is why a lot of people don't go anywhere, because they stop reading after they're no longer forced to, which is in school. But the successful habits of most, if not all, successful people, reading is in their like top 3 to 5, if it's not number 1. Reading keeps your mind trained on whatever it is you want it to be trained on, consciously or unconsciously. So it's up to you to make a conscious decision on what you want your mind to be focused on, and then read things that help engage that, period. So that was the 3 tips to live your best life. You got to eat good to fuel your body with the natural medicines. You have to get out in nature, get some of that feel-good energy, get back connected, get back to oneness, because we are all one. Stop thinking separatist, stop thinking individualist all the time. And read, because what we read trains our mind, and our mind determines our actions, which determines our life. Now, for these extras that I was going to throw in here that y'all weren't ready for. All right, so the first extras that I was going to throw in here for y'all that you weren't expecting is, how does your mind determine your moves? And I think I'm going to do it in story form from a book that I read. I don't remember the book right now, but it's a story that says there's 2 parts of your brain. You know, I'm giving them different names, so it's kind of my own story now. So, okay, there's 2 sides of your brain. One is Mr. Build It and one is Mr. Wreck It. No, one is Mr. Build It and one is Mr. Break It. Boom. So Mr. Build It, that's the guy or the girl, the woman, whoever, that he's gonna build. We all know what building means. He's gonna uplift. Okay, scratch that. I'm not gonna tell it in story form right now. I'm not a storyteller like that. Okay, so your mind controls your actions because when you think about something, yes, your conscious mind is aware of whatever it is you're thinking at or looking at or hearing or reading, but your subconscious mind is also very aware. Your subconscious mind is absorbing everything around you at every second. If we could fully access our subconscious mind, we would have a complete record of our entire lives. That's what the subconscious mind does. And so in the subconscious mind, that's where it starts. Well, I guess it depends on how you look at it, but that's where I'm gonna start right now. The subconscious mind is the main control center. Because if you're constantly looking at the same type of material over and over and over, then your brain has no way of determining that that's not. So if you're looking at the same type of material over and over and over, that material, no, anything that you look at, your brain will determine as reality. Anything that you're around, hearing, seeing, touching, smelling, feeling, your brain will determine as reality. Why do you think when we smell something, it can bring back a memory? Yes, that's all connected. So if you are always in negative environments, always around angry people, always around people that are just so negative and pessimistic and have a negative outlook on life, to no fault of their own, but that's another conversation. But if that's the type of people that you're always around, it's going to be very difficult for you to not have that same mindset, because that's what you're always hearing. That's what you're always seeing. That's what you're always feeling, because you can feel that energy from those people. And that energy is just transferred back into you. So when you read, that helps focus your mind, like a concentrated focus on a particular topic that you want to focus on. So then, how can I say this? So then if that's what you're thinking about, your brain is going to think, okay, that's reality. All right, I live in a 6-bedroom house. Okay, I stay in the most expensive neighborhood in my area. Because that's what you're always thinking about. That's what you're always focused on. So your brain is therefore going to find a way to bridge your current reality to not your future, just your other reality. Because to your brain, to your subconscious, to your mind, they're both real. Your brain is not stuck on, okay, well, this is physical, so it's real, and this is not physical, so it's not real. No, that's not how the brain works. It's the same way as if all you give your kid was sugar and candy and chocolate and stuff, they're going to be sick and unhealthy and have rotting teeth. Oh, and if you tell them that they can't do it and that they're stupid and they're dumb, they won't do it and they will be stupid and they will be dumb. Most of the time, you know. You got them real troopers that they be like, nah, F that. Just because you said that, I'm going to do the opposite. I like them. But that's not what I'm talking about. That's not the norm. That's not how the mind works. So if you have a child that you give them fruits and vegetables and water, then they're going to grow up strong and healthy and not sickly. And if you tell them you can do it, you're great, you're awesome, they're going to think they can do anything, and they're going to go out and do anything that they put their mind to, because you told them that they could do anything, so that they believed that they could do anything, because that was absorbed into their subconscious after a while. But you have to put it in your consciousness first. But see, the way that it works is that you have to be consciously doing it first. So you have to consciously choose to read this good book. You have to consciously choose to not go to that place. You have to consciously choose to eat this, not that. And you have to do that repetitively, because it's not going to be in your subconscious to let your subconscious start working just immediately. That's not going to work. But you have to do it over and over and over and over again. Just the same way as things that are ingrained in us. That's because it was taught to us over and over and over again the whole time we were growing up, you know. Most of us in our family house, 0 to 18 years. That's 365 days, 18 times. That's a lot of days for something to be ground into you over and over and over again, even if it's not every day. So if you want to change your circumstances, if you want to change your life, then you have to change your actions. And the way you change your actions is to change what you're conscious, and after that subconscious. No, you have to change. So if you want to change your life, if you want to change your situations, if you want to change your surroundings, you first have to change your movements and your actions. If you want to change your actions, you got to change your mindset. If you want to change your mindset, you have to change what your conscious mind is actively focusing on, so that you can change what your subconscious mind is absorbing and formulating actions for. That's how that works. Okay, so number 2, quantum entanglements. Okay, so I love sci-fi, right? Not specifically the channel, even though the channel's all right, but the genre itself. All the, the science, the super scientific, like new age futuristic weapons, means of travel, space travel, under the ocean. I've been into all of that for like ever, for as long as I've been aware of it, which is since childhood. So I'm really into that. So I've always been into, different theoretical physics ideas. They're theoretical because technically they are not able to be proven yet, because we don't have the technology, or we don't remember the technology, but that's another story. We don't have the technology to do it right now. But so there's a theory, or I don't know if it's theory now. They might have like actually proven it. I don't remember. But it's called quantum entanglement. So I'm going to break down quantum entanglement so that it's not as complicated as you think when you think physics. Okay. So remember how earlier in this video I was talking about how science has already proven that we are all giving off energy. So science has already proven that everything in existence gives off energy. And that energy comes from the movement and the vibrations of our electrons, protons, neutrons, quarks, and all those little things that make up matter. Okay? Y'all with me so far? Now, when you look at energy, energy moves in waves. So remember all those, like when you used to learn about microwaves, gamma waves, UV rays, and all that stuff, and they were all different waves. Some of them like really, really sharp, some of them more wavy, all of that. Okay, so think that. And then you know how you've heard of the aura, A-U-R-A. Like when you're looking at a person, they actually have like this energy field halo around them. Or kind of like when you look at like a light bulb and you see the light coming from the bulb, but then the light itself goes further than the bulb. Like you have the physical light, and then you have that glass, but then you have like this halo of light that's around it that you can still see before you can't see it anymore, but the rest of the room is still lit up. That's still light. Peep that. Okay, so now, if everything in existence, that means us, the planet, the earth, the trees, the rocks, the water, the animals, the planets, the solar systems, the galaxies, all of that. If everything in existence gives off, that aura, we're going to call it an aura, that halo, we're going to call it a halo. If everything gives off that halo, and the bigger the object, obviously, the larger the halo is going to be. So if everything is giving off that halo, then doesn't it make sense that sometimes the further edges of those halos are going to interact with the... So then doesn't it make sense that if this water bottle is giving off a halo and this pen marker is giving off its own halo, that somewhere in this space between the edges of their energetic halos are touching? We just can't see it. That's what quantum entanglement is. That's basically it in a nutshell. So imagine we have this penny, and its halo goes out, just for stuff that we can understand, its halo goes out an inch away from it, all the way around and in all directions. But then we have this $50, And because it's bigger, instead of an inch out, so then we have this $half that has its own halo. But instead of just going out an inch like the penny, because this $half is larger, this $half goes out 3 inches all the way around and in all directions. Okay? So then if some objects were close and this penny goes out an inch and this $half goes out 3 inches, that means you would need 4 inches in between them for their edges to be right next to each other with no overlap. But say they're closer than that, then they're going to be overlapping. You get what I'm saying? But even when they're far apart. So, okay. So now it might be hard to imagine, but if you can just think on the grander scale of like planets and stars, and just think about how big they are compared to this $half and this penny. Imagine how big of an energetic halo each and every single planet and star and rock out there in the sky have. And just imagine how large they are. So that something is going to touch, even from a distance, something, regardless. But so in a solar system, these planets are large and they're relatively close. So of course, all of their energetic halos are intermingled and touching each other. That is quantum entanglement. So, quantum entanglement review. Everything has an energetic field encircling it in all directions. The larger the mass, the bigger the thing, the bigger the energetic field. So if you're standing next to a person, and when you stand close to someone, but you're not touching them, you can feel their energy. And y'all are just a couple inches apart. And y'all are people. So when you think about planets, they're giving off huge energy fields. And they're intermingling with other planets in energy fields. And the energy fields of this solar system, they affect us. That's quantum entanglement. Everything is affected by everything. Because even things that at the farthest ends of our solar system, they're quantum entangled with us. But then they're also quantumly entangled with something in other directions from them. Yes. Because this is going to be quantum entangled with everything around it like this. And this is going to be quantum entangled with everything around it out here. But they're both going to be quantumly entangled with whatever's here in the middle, which then makes them quantumly entangled together, because then all of that energy starts flowing and intermingling with each other. Everything is everything.